All right, welcome back, apushers. New year, same great 10 out of 10 content. We're coming at you with Chapter 16 Notes, Part 2, The Rise of Industrial America. This is Mr. B History, and my New Year's resolution is to get at least 500 subscribers. 500. Well, let's make it happen, people. Let's make it happen. Tell your friends, neighbors, your friends' neighbors' friends, and your whole family to like, subscribe, add, hit notifications. Let's make it happen. For extra bonus bucks, you can hit the comments and tell us what your New Year's resolution is. I'd be delighted to find out, especially if it applies to AP US history. All right. You know what they say. No fluff, just the stuff. Let's get these notes, gamers. All right, The Rise of Industrial America. We got a quote here by Eugene V. Debs, the none other than Eugene V. Debs. He says, "Those who produce should have, but we know that those who produce the most, that is, those that work the hardest, the most difficult and most meaningless tasks, have the least." A famous labor leader, Eugene V. Debs. We're going to learn about it in these notes. It's part 2. I highly recommend you go back and read over Chapter 16, Part 1 by Mr. B History, where you're going to learn all about industrialization. Labor unions are effective industrialization, and that's what these notes are about. Let's get them. The struggle of organized labor. Labor means work. Labor unions are workers uniting for more stuff. Let's find out industrial warfare. A surplus of cheap labor. They get it from the second wave of immigration to the United States, which is mostly Southern and Eastern Europeans. Millions, 15 million people come to America between 1877 and 1901. This means that capital or business owners have the advantage over the workers because they can always just hire some new immigrants. Labor unions are groups of workers that join together to collectively bargain. What do they want? They want better pay, shorter hours, and better working conditions. This means more wages, less work, and more safety. Because with laissez-faire government on the rise, no one was protecting the workers. They were on their own unless they united together. Strikes. The labor union's protest method of refusing to work until demands are met. This is the number one thing that people did, or labor unions did, to get what they wanted. They would say, hey, no one's going to go to work. But the business owners, the capital, could hire scabs. These are desperate unemployed replacement workers for those who are on strike, or new immigrants that didn't know any better. This is a derogatory word for these replacement workers. A lockout. The business owners could close a factory to stop a labor union from organizing. They would do that. That's crazy. Blacklist. List of pro-union workers so no one would hire them. They would put people like Eugene V. Debs on that list so that no one would hire him, and then he wouldn't try to unionize the workers. They would force the workers to sign yellow dog contracts. This is an agreement. If you take the job, then you're not allowed to join a labor union. They would also use private guards, state militias, and court injunctions to break up strikes. A very famous strike of the time period was the Great Railroad Strike of 1877. It's a nationwide strike that ended when President Rutherford B. Hayes used federal troops to break up the strikes, which led to all sorts of violence. National labor unions. During this time period, several national labor unions formed. These are not local labor unions. These are not state labor unions. These are labor unions that spread across the entire country of the United States. The first one was the National Labor Union, founded in 1866, right after the Civil War. It was the first attempt to organize all workers in all states, both skilled and unskilled workers, farmers and industrial workers, and all they were wanting to get was the 8-hour workday, higher wages, equal rights for women and minorities. They didn't get any of these things, but they did have some success when eventually there was an 8-hour workday. The next one was the Knights of Labor. Founded in 1869, it includes skilled and unskilled workers, women, and minorities. Goals were worker cooperatives, ending child labor because the children were taking their jobs, and monopolies and trusts, very popular until blamed for the Haymarket riot in Chicago in 1886, when anarchists threw a bomb and killed several people, including police officers, at a Knights of Labor rally on May Day, and this caused a sharp decline in membership in the Knights of Labor as they were associated with anarchism. The most successful labor union was the American Federation of Labor, also known as the AFL. It was founded in 1886. It was led by Samuel Gompers, and it focused on narrow economic goals, which were higher wages and better conditions, and they only accepted male workers that were skilled. It was the largest and most successful labor union. Strike breaking in the 1890s. The Homestead Strike. Another famous strike was the Homestead Strike in 1892. Andrew Carnegie, the famous steel monopolist, cut wages by 20%. The workers went on strike. The strike was broken by a lockout where he shut down the factory. He hired the Pinkerton detectives, or private guards, to go in and chase away the workers who were sitting in to the factory, and he hired strike breakers, or scabs, to replace the workers. He won that. Pullman Strike, 1894. Railroad company cut wages and fired labor union leaders. Eugene V. Debs, is where Eugene V. Debs steps up, organizes a nationwide railroad strike. The railroad owners linked mail trains to regular trains and then claimed that the strikers are interfering with the delivery of the mail, which is a federal offense. President Grover Cleveland uses the army to keep the trains running. Eugene V. Debs is arrested and sentenced to jail. He appeals to the Supreme Court but loses. Eugene V. Debs is radicalized while in jail, turns to socialism, and creates the American Socialist Party, where he's going to run for president several times, unsuccessfully, once even from jail. And that's it, apushers. That is the end of chapter 16. Hopefully you learned something. Again, hit us up with your comments, how we want to improve for 2024. Let's make this happen, people. You love to hear it. We will see you next time. Hopefully another one of my New Year's resolution is more content, more timely. Until next time, Mr. B History. Ow.